Have you ever wondered why some people can withstand adversity and come out stronger while others crumble under pressure? This is the power of mental strength, an essential quality that shapes our lives in more ways than one. Mental strength is not just about resilience. It's not just about weathering the storms that life throws at us. It's also about understanding our emotions, our behaviors, and our thoughts. It's about learning to navigate through our mental landscape, recognizing the peaks of joy and the valleys of despair, and knowing how to traverse both. Mental strength is about self-awareness, self-control, and self-direction. It is a journey of self-discovery that can lead us to a more fulfilling and resilient life. So why is it that some habits can undermine this mental strength? In the next few minutes, we will explore some habits that can weaken our mental strength. Before we delve into the habits that can undermine our mental strength, we wanted to take a moment to ask for your support. If you find our content beneficial, please give this video a thumbs up. It's a simple click for you, but it means the world to us. Sharing is caring. So if you believe this video can help someone you know, do share it with your friends and family. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our latest content. Your support helps us reach a wider audience, and together we can create a community dedicated to cultivating mental strength. Thank you. And now let's dive into the habits that can weaken our mental strength. First on our list is the habit of avoiding difficult situations. Imagine you're in a maze. Every turn, every corner, every step you take presents a challenge. This is life. It's full of winding paths and dead ends. Sometimes you might feel like avoiding these challenges, thinking it's the easier route. But let's consider what happens when we sidestep difficulties rather than confronting them directly. When we avoid problems or difficult situations, we create a cycle of fear and anxiety. We feel a temporary sense of relief, yes, but this is merely a band-aid solution. It doesn't eradicate the problem, it only postpones it. And in the meantime, the problem may even grow larger, more complex and more daunting. In this cycle, our mind becomes conditioned to fear challenges. We start to perceive them as threats rather than opportunities for growth. This fear, this anxiety can then seep into other aspects of our lives, hindering our overall mental well-being. It can lead us to procrastinate, to miss opportunities, and to live in a constant state of worry and stress. On the flip side, let's look at what happens when we face challenges head-on. When we tackle a difficult situation, we may stumble, we may falter, but we also learn. We learn about our strengths and weaknesses. We learn about our resilience and our ability to adapt. Each challenge we overcome is a victory, however small. Each victory builds our confidence and reinforces our belief in our own abilities. It's like working a muscle. The more we exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And so facing challenges instead of avoiding them strengthens our mental fortitude. So, the next time life presents you with a difficult situation, don't turn away. Face it head-on, embrace the challenge. Remember, it's not just about solving the problem at hand, but also about building your mental strength, your resilience, and your confidence. Avoidance might bring temporary comfort, but it's a surefire way to weaken our mental strength. Secondly, let's talk about the habit of negative self-talk. Picture this: you're in a room full of mirrors, and each mirror is reflecting back a version of you that's brimming with criticism and doubt. That's essentially what negative self-talk is like. It's a constant, relentless inner dialogue that chips away at our self-confidence and mental strength, leaving us feeling inadequate and defeated. Imagine how exhausting that would be to be constantly subjected to such a harsh stream of self-criticism. It's like having a drill sergeant in your head, constantly barking at you about your flaws and failures. It's a habit that can wear you down and make you feel like you're never good enough, no matter what you do. But here's the thing, we all have the power to change the narrative. We can replace that negative self-talk with positive affirmations and self-compassion. Instead of telling ourselves we're not good enough, we can remind ourselves of our strengths and accomplishments. Instead of dwelling on our mistakes, we can focus on our potential for growth and improvement. Think of it as a kind of mental workout. Just as we exercise our bodies to become stronger, we can exercise our minds to become more resilient and positive. And just like physical exercise, it takes time and practice, but the results can be transformative. So, how do we start? First, we need to become aware of our negative self-talk. Pay attention to the words and phrases you use when you talk to yourself. Are they harsh and critical, or are they kind and supportive? Once you've identified your negative self-talk, you can start to replace it with more positive and compassionate language. Remember, the words we tell ourselves matter. They shape our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. They can either lift us up or pull us down. So let's make them count. Let's replace that negative self-talk with positive affirmations and self-compassion. Let's build a mental environment that fosters growth, confidence, and resilience. Remember, the words we tell ourselves matter. Let's make them count. Scene script. Third on our list is the habit of dwelling on past mistakes. Let's imagine a traveler carrying a backpack. With each mistake they make, they add a rock to their pack. As the journey continues, the backpack becomes heavier, making every step more difficult. This is what it feels like to constantly ruminate on past errors. The weight of our past mistakes can slow us down, hinder our growth, and drain our mental strength. Our minds, like that backpack, have limited capacity. When we clutter our minds with regret and guilt over past mistakes, we leave little room for new thoughts, ideas, and positive emotions. This constant dwelling on the past can foster feelings of inadequacy and failure, which in turn can lead to a negative self-image and low self-esteem. But why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we insist on replaying these painful moments again and again like a broken record? The answer lies in our perception of mistakes. We see them as failures, as blemishes on our life's record. We forget that mistakes are in fact an integral part of the learning process. They are stepping stones on our path to growth and improvement. Each mistake we make is a lesson learned, a chance to do better next time. By dwelling on past mistakes, we lose sight of this valuable perspective. We become so caught up in our regrets and guilt that we miss the opportunity to learn and grow. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can choose to see mistakes for what they truly are, opportunities for growth. Instead of dwelling on them, we can learn from them and then let them go. We can take the rocks out of our backpacks one by one until we're traveling light again. We can choose to move forward, unburdened by the weight of past mistakes. We can choose to grow stronger and wiser with each step we take. And remember, it's not about never making mistakes, it's about not letting our mistakes define us. Mistakes are not life sentences, they are lessons. Let's learn and move on. Lastly, let's examine the habit of comparing ourselves to others. We're all guilty of it at one time or another, aren't we? It seems so natural, so innocuous. But in reality, it's one of the most destructive habits that can weaken our mental strength. Imagine you're strolling through a garden and you come across a rose. It's beautiful, isn't it? Now suppose you find a sunflower standing tall and bright. They're both lovely in their own right. But what happens when you start comparing the rose to the sunflower? You may say, the sunflower is so tall and vibrant, the rose can't compare. Suddenly, the rose seems less beautiful. You've stripped it of its unique charm simply by comparing it to something it was never meant to be. That's precisely what we do when we compare ourselves to others. We rob ourselves of our individuality, our uniqueness. We let someone else's life, achievements or appearances become the yardstick against which we measure our own worth. And that can lead to feelings of inadequacy, dissatisfaction, even despair. But here's the truth. We are not roses trying to be sunflowers. We are not sunflowers trying to be roses. We are our own unique selves, with our own unique journeys. Just like the rose and the sunflower, we each have our own beauty, our own strengths, our own potential. And just like them, we grow at our own pace in our own time. So instead of comparing ourselves to others, let's embrace our individuality. Let's focus on our personal growth. Let's celebrate our achievements, no matter how big or small they may seem. Let's strive to become the best versions of ourselves, not someone else. Remember, every time you compare yourself to others, you're telling yourself that you're not good enough. It's a habit that lowers your mental strength and hinders your growth. So let's break free from this habit. Let's start valuing ourselves for who we are, not who we think we should be. We are all on our unique journeys. Let's focus on our own path instead of comparing it with someone else's. Scene script. Let's quickly recap what we've discussed. We've taken a deep dive into 4 habits that nibble away at our mental strength. First, we talked about the tendency to avoid difficult situations. It's essential to face challenges head-on as they help us grow and become resilient. Secondly, we examined the impact of harboring negative self-talk. It's crucial to recognize and counteract this internal dialogue, as it can damage our self-esteem and limit our potential. Thirdly, we explored the habit of dwelling on past mistakes. Remember, it's not about forgetting these errors, but learning from them and moving forward. Lastly, we discussed the pitfall of comparing yourself to others. It's vital to focus on our journey and achievements rather than measuring our worth against someone else's. These habits can weaken our mental fortitude, making life's challenges seem insurmountable. But by recognizing and addressing these patterns, we can strengthen our mental muscle. Remember, mental strength is a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets.